downfall of the UK, a nation in decline, a royal curse, a monarch to preside over the decay of a nation, a once great nation, the United Kingdom. In this video, we will look at the astrology and the esoteric analytics that helps us decode what's happening. Britain has become a place of many horrors. Grooming gangs are now known to roam the streets, oftentimes aided and abetted by the police, and going unpunished, hurting children, and people are getting locked up for voicing their opinions, voicing their opposition with what's going on in the country, and they get locked up, just for something they posted on social media. And housing prices are crazy. People are suffering, everybody apart from the elites. And there is just such a moral decay that is reaching abysmal levels in the UK right now. I will just tell you two examples to illustrate this insane level of decay that is happening right now in the UK. These are people that were in the news recently. I call them the monster and the harlot. The monster, a guy, a boy, I won't say man because he will not deserve that term, who committed a heinous, horrific act. He went in and stabbed to death children, multiple children, many children, not just, a group of children. And he stabbed them hundreds of times. And he he killed these poor little angels. And after being apprehended, he stated that he was happy that this happened. And an absolutely incomprehensible level of decay, of moral degeneracy. The other example that I called the harlot, another person that shall remain nameless here, a person who has apparently slept with 1,000 men in one day and made this a huge kind of spectacle. And she these men were all obviously lower class people, not just economically speaking, but spiritually. Obviously, what kind of person are you going to get to participate in that? And off, this stunt, she's now become a celebrity. She's become super rich, and a lot of especially young people, young girls in the UK are aspiring to become like her, right? So this is the state of the UK, of the country, which is really, these are new levels of degeneracy that have been unlocked. And all of this is happening under the reign of King Charles. It's in the Carrollian era, the reign of a new monarch, right? And you're going to say, oh, what's it got to do with it? No, it is absolutely connected. If you know anything about spiritual science, archetypes, energies, right? The monarch embodies energies. The monarch sets the energy, way more even so than a president, right? The monarch is really that kind of magnifying glass for spiritual energy, right? And this is happening under the reign of King Charles, and there were some strange, eerie things that happened, right? Occult things that came out around King Charles, which have to be investigated and understood in order to understand what's happening with the UK. So in this video, this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the astrology and the esoteric science to decode what's happening in the United Kingdom, and also to predict, and I will give you a prediction on where things are going to with the monarchy and with the UK in future, what's coming. And I can already tell you so much. First of all, obviously make sure to watch this video till the end, because you're going to get the prediction on where things are going, right? And it's going to be good and bad. There is a way out of all of this misery, but it's also going to come with, incredible new challenges, right? So make sure to watch this video till the end. And I can already tell you, what I will tell you will be very different to what you have heard elsewhere, right? Very different, especially if you have watched other astrologers, who talk about this. There is one astrologer, I tell you an example. There is one astrologer, he's one of the largest astrologers on YouTube, right? And they made this video on the future of the British Royal House, and they just got it completely wrong. Completely off the mark, right? Those are the same people, like basically some kind of washed up, everybody, every man's kind of perspective on what's, this was a little bit outdated, the monarchy, and people want something new. And okay, oh, really? Great insight. You needed astrology for that? To tell us that? Amazing. Like, don't get me started. These are the same people who predicted to you that in full earnestness predict that Kamala Harris will have a landslide win in the US elections. Why? Because CNN was telling them that. Obviously, and their own woke bias. But, I'm talking, again, don't get me started, but these people they don't have the spiritual maturity and development that is needed to really understand astrology, right? So, you can watch them, but you might as well just skip it, skip the astrology, watch CNN, right? You get exactly the same outputs and insights, right? You will be just as smart as if you do that. Anyways, I will give you a completely new perspective on what will happen to Britain, where Britain is going. Watch this video till then. But before, let's understand where the UK is right now. Okay, where is the UK right now? Why are we not talking about Keir Starmer? Is it about Keir Starmer government, right? This government came in, and what is he doing, right? He's arresting people who are speaking out against the mainstream, right? Against the mainstream kind of narratives. He's continuing the globalist war. This guy just promised, to give Ukraine $300 billion, $3 billion every year for 100 years. He literally said it's a 100-year partnership, 100 years. Beyond generations, beyond himself, right? So, yes, that's true. That's happening, but that's not so much different to what already had been happening before. Woke politicians, globalist politicians, you have them everywhere. You had them in the US under Biden, right? You had them everywhere. This is different. What's happening in the UK right now is different. And I tell you, it comes back to King Charles. It comes back to King Charles. This is not just your regular woke government, woke globalist government that you have in many European countries right now, right? It's not about that, this is different. This is different. It's about a dark energy that has entered the UK with King Charles. Now, and I will show you in the astrology chart exactly what I'm talking about, right? So to add to that, or to add a personal note to this, right? I was in the UK, I was in London when Queen Elizabeth died and Prince Charles was proclaimed king, right? It's like the queen is dead, long live the king, right? It's like the same, it's a one process, right? And then later comes the coronation, which we'll talk about. And that day, obviously it was somber, it was very solemn energy, the queen had died and so on, but there was something more to it. There was something very, very dark that day in London, in the streets of London. If you were there, maybe and you can comment below how you experienced this. It was sinister. There was something, if you're psychically awake, people who are psychically awake, they were able to notice that there was something off, as if some darkness was coming in, right? And this was confirmed after the coronation. Right? There were some obvious signs. After the coronation, King Charles comes out and he shows this painting, right? This painting that he had made. He had a painting made, right? It's like a tradition. The monarchs always have paintings made, right? They present paintings of themselves, royal paintings. And this painting, it looks like everybody could tell this looks demonic. It looks evil, right? It looks like this kind of strange thing out of hell. And people went and they analyzed this painting. They turned it around. They they mirrored it. When you mirrored it, when you turn it around, you can see clearly the face of Baphomet, the demon lord Baphomet, in that painting, right? It's there. So you can go check it for yourself. There's lots of other videos that show it and so on, picture analysis. You see. So why would the royal house of Britain do something like this? Why would they do something like this? I can tell you why they would do this once I show you the charts, the astrology charts, right? That's obviously where we can get our answer. So I'm going to show you the chart of the coronation. I'm not going to show you King Charles's chart, but I will show you the chart of the coronation of King Charles, right? Which is extremely important. It's like the birth, right? It's like the birth of a new era The Carrollian era comes symbolically into being, right, with the coronation. So this is the coronation chart, right? This is for May 6th, 2023 in London, right? Around just about noon. This is when Charles was coronated. And this is the exact time, right? When he becomes king. So, and when the Carrollian era starts. So what do we have here? This chart, and I tell you, astrology is so insightful. It's not for nothing. It's not, there's a reason why it's the king of esoteric sciences. Because we have, especially now with the asteroids that have been given to us, right, by divine providence, we have such an incredible amount of insight into things. And you will be shocked if you haven't looked into this yet. You will not believe it. You will not believe it. So you have the sun, and the sun is with Uranus. And Uranus and sun, right? So there's something revolutionary happening. The sun is with London and King, okay? And Liberatrix, right? And Hagar, okay? So these are together. The sun is with London, King. So a king is being crowned in London, is written here, right? This king brings a certain type of liberation, he brings a libertine era, right? A libertine era. Hagar is here too. Hagar stands for Islam, right? It's actually it's symbolically, it stands for Islam. So you have to know Charles was rumored, right? And there's truth to that rumor. He was rumored to have, actually, there was a lot of stories that he had converted to Sufism, or not just any Sufism, to a particular type of an Islamic sect, right? Of one particular occult direction within Sufism, within kind of esoteric Islam, right? There was the rumors around that he had like a sheikh, and with this sheikh he had worked on acquiring certain spiritual powers and so on. This was a long time, right? A long time, right? And in the chart you can see this, okay, so, all right, fine, right? That's okay, a king is crowned in London. What else can you see in the chart? So what can it tell us about England, about what's happening here? So there's a couple of strange signs here. There's a couple of strange signs. We have Lucifer on Neptune, okay? There's some sixth sense, it's kind of dark energy coming here from this direction. And then you have here, there's a lot of stuff crammed into this together, so it's hard to see, but actually they're all very close here together, right? It just looks like they're not. But here we have on the North Node, right, which is the karma that realizes itself. We have Albion, okay, England. Albion is the old name for England, right? We have Imperatrix, right, Imperial England. We have Hell, okay, Hell is the Germanic god that stands for the name Hell, where Hell comes from. And we have Herero. Herero were a people who were massacred in the colonial times, right? It stands for colonial genocide, basically, or colonial murder, right? So we have here England, Hell, Empire, and Herero, okay? This is a bit strange. Okay, this is in there, and this is what's supposed to come out. So we're supposed to get basically dark karma to do with British imperial times and to do with colonial times coming out and bringing hell in some ways, right? And then on the MC, which is what determines, right? Determines the outcome of this. The MC is kind of the destiny of the chart, right? On the MC we have Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin, this is Rumpelstiltskin, it stands for this, it was this little gnome, right? That it offered a deal with the demonic entity, basically, right? A dark entity that offers you a deal. That's Rumpelstiltskin, right? It stands for, it's a story. It's like a story from the fairy tales, right? But it stands symbolically for a deal with a dark entity. And then what else you have on here? You have Dioretsa. Dioretsa is asteroid spelled backwards. It stands for backwards, turning everything backwards. Then you have Jocaste. Jocaste stands for curse, the curse. And you have Cerberus. Cerberus is the dog of hell. Okay, so now we can see the outcome of this. What's happening here? There's a dark deal that was made with dark entities that brings a curse onto the land, right? And this curse brings quite literally the dog of hell or the energies of hell, and it reverses everything. It brings a reversal of reality, of truth, of the world, right? Everything gets reversed. The morals get reversed. The decay and reversal of what's right and what's wrong, right? And then you have Siren here at the bottom. There's still more signs in here, but I'm going to skip those because we have already what we need here. What we can see in the chart is that very clearly, and I showed you, King with London, with Sun. Nobody can tell me that this is coincidence. That King, London, and Sun are together. Imperatrix, Albion, right, which is the empire of Britain, and hell, they're all together. And then you have hell, and then you have reversal, and then you have deals with the dark entity, and now you're starting to understand what's happening. Charles was not supposed to come into power. He was not supposed, he already, he was involved in some dark stories with Diana. He had the blemish of the death of Princess Diana, right, on his karma, on his karmic record. And his mother stayed for a very long time so that he doesn't come to power. But he did certain dealings. He did certain arrangements, let's say. He did certain arrangements with certain powers, right, to make this happen, to have him come into power. He was not supposed to. He was not supposed to, by destiny, to come into this position. Now, when you have this kind of occurrence, and you might be shocked that I'm saying this. How can I say this? I have to speak what I'm seeing, what is the truth, right? And this explains to you why was this painting out there with the head of Baphomet, right? This is an important principle in esoteric science, is that when deals are made with certain entities, these entities, they always require payback. They always want to get paid back. They're like the mob. They're like the mob. They always need to get paid back. Not always in the same currency, but they always get theirs. They will come and they're worse than the mob. They will come and break your legs on a spiritual level, right? They will break your legs up into multiple lifetimes to get back to get paid. And one way to get paid is visibility. Visibility. This is why you see so many Hollywood stars and celebrities and so on, all the ones who have gotten there through those means. You will see them have these symbolism here and there. They will have symbolism. They will wear stuff. They will show it very blatantly because those entities are demanding visibility. They demand visibility, right? And I'm sharing this with you because this knowledge has to be spread. And even though what I'm doing here is not without its risks, but I'm fully aware of those. And God is with me and with us, so we have nothing to worry about. Now, when we talk about this situation, what it has brought for the UK, the fact that this deal that was made, this dark dealings that were made, unleashed Cerberus, unleashed hell onto the British people, right? Then we can understand why the decay happened, why the degeneracy happened that I mentioned in the beginning of the video with those examples. Then we can understand why people like the harlot and the monster that I talked about in the beginning, why they are now coming out and being a factor in Britain. Why they're coming out at this time. Let us look at their charts. Normally I wouldn't look at, these kind of, it's important to understand still. It's important because it gives us an insight into the karma that's at play. That's at play on the mundane and then manifesting down into the personal level, affecting the livelihoods, the lives of people, right? So I'm going to start with the monster, that guy, the kid, this creature, let's call him, who killed these children. So this is the guy. And this person, what you're going to see here is that he's got a sun exact with Saturn, right? Like darkening the light, making the light dark. So Saturn, sun exact in opposition to Neptune with that great confusion, extreme kind of, it could be insanity or confusion, Obviously, that's not the way that it's going to work out for everybody, but that's one possible way, right? Darkening the light with insanity and confusion. And this sun is with Draco, you see here, and draconian measures, right? Phaedra is basically failure, right? Like the failure. Atropos stands for the end of life. It's it's one of these kind of, in the Greek mythology, was one of these figures. It's a figure that sets an end to life. Atropos, right? Atropos means literally end of life. Ino is a figure that stands for insanity. And then Sado stands for sadism. So you have here the draconian failure who sets an end to life and who is insane, who is an insane monster. This is written in this chart, right? Now, okay, that's a way that this person clearly realized it, but why? Where's it coming from? What's the karma involved? The karma involved is, look at this. Here is a moon. The moon shows you oftentimes. The moon shows you oftentimes the karma, right? That you're interested in. Moon, the nodes are very important. The moon, it's with what? It's with karma. Nunki is a star that stands for a hero, okay? A hero. Caesar, and hubris on the moon. Okay, what does it mean? I'm going to decode this for you. Instead of going one by one and so on, I'm just going to give you right away what it means. So this guy, in his past lives, he was a warlord. He was a warlord who lost everything, due to even his family and his clan, in the battles with the colonial powers. He was an African warlord who lost everything, right? His family and so on and so forth. And he was somebody doing something like this already must have like many, many lifetimes of working with devilish demonic energies, right? And now he has incarnated. Normally, if you are a country, that is, if you have a monarch who is protecting his nation, you will not have these dark, abject forces incarnate and be able to wreak havoc like that, right? But once the doors are opened, once those doors are opened from everywhere, you're now getting everybody who has any grievance like this, any grievance that goes many lifetimes back, right? This guy was a warlord back then, whatever, hundreds of years ago, and now he's coming to take revenge, right? He's coming to take revenge. He's incarnating in order to come to the UK and take revenge and then say like, I did right? So then you're going to have these horrific things happen because the doors have been opened for these types of karmic manifestations. And I will show you the next one as well. All right, I'm going to show you the next one as well. So this one is the harlot. I'm going to call the harlot the woman who is teaching the youngsters, the young generations to lose all morals, right? She's kind of corroding the moral fiber of the society, right? And here you have what? You have a person who, okay, the sun is on Algol. Algol is the darkest star of all, the darkest fixed star. Their sun is exactly on there. And okay, that alone, not everybody who has their sun there could be in something else too. But here, no doubt about it. There's Drago, the asteroid Drago, right? It stands for the dark dragon. It's the dragon from the apocalypse, right? The darkness. Klondike, gold rush, right? Then you have Bacchus. Bacchus means orgies, right? Orgies and chaos. Right? She's going to do a gold rush, make a lot of money by serving dark forces and bringing chaos into the world through orgies, right? Furthering chaos, right? Furthering chaos. Then you have karma and Lucifer with Saturn, right? Exactly with Saturn. That's her karma that she's bringing into the world. And there's so much more. Alastor is you can see it here. Alastor is the torturer of hell is here, Alastor, with Dionysus, right, and Venus. So the torturer of hell with Dionysus is another one, also stands for orgies, is on her Venus. And Nephthys stands for the fallen angels who have merged with humans, right? This is on her Venus, okay? And I mean, Babylon is here. Babylon is a direct opposition to Lucifer and Saturn. There's no doubt about this. This is different, by the way. There was another woman. I did another video about that person who did this before, who did something similar, and then they fought, the two of them. That one was a victim. This one is not a victim. This one is like, an offset. Now, this one, what was her past? Her past, you can see here, Asmodeus with Kristen with Vatican. Vatican, Loyola is a priest. Vatican is a priest. And then Saturn is with Apt. Apt means monastery. So priest, priest, monastery. Okay? 3 times. 3 times. This one, she was a priest. She was a Catholic priest who had worked with dark forces and who had given up her sexuality in order to reach a certain position of power in the spiritual hierarchy, but by working with dark forces. And now she's incarnated to pay back those forces and undo whatever she had give up in the previous times through unlimited promiscuity and spreading the cause of unlimited promiscuity. Now, you can see this, these creatures and their karma is, normally it comes and goes and you have it everywhere. But why am I specifically talking about these people in this context? Because they appear right now in the UK, right? In the UK for a specific reason, because of Charles's karma, because of the energy that the karma that Charles has set and that he has allowed to come in, right? That's what matters. That's what you have to understand. Now, I told you I'm going to have an outlook on where things are going, what's coming next for the UK. And this will be absolutely unexpected for you. You haven't heard it anywhere else. So let's go and look it up. But before, make sure, if you haven't done so yet, to subscribe to this channel, to like and comment. It's very important that you comment and like. This content has to be seen by more people. It's still a small channel. It's still growing. Your support is very much appreciated. Also, go on ultrasapient.xyz, where we are launching so many new opportunities to get engaged. There is going to be an app, which is a spiritual advisor, an astrological advisor that you can engage with, and you can be a beta tester. There's courses coming from yours truly and other selected thought leaders and spiritual leaders and spiritual teachers and tutors, and you can get early access to those. Make sure to go on ultrasapient.xyz and put in your details so you get access and find out early about all of these upcoming things. Now, that being said, I'm going to go into telling you, as I said in the beginning, what's coming for the UK. And this is something that the CNN astrologers will not tell you, right? You will not hear from them. So obviously, for that, we have to look at the transits, right? We have to look at the transits of the UK, first of all. So the UK is, and I know it's going to be a little longer video, but it's packed, right? It's with everything is in here, and it's important, right? It's important to understand what's happening. So the UK is getting all of these incredible aspects right now in 25, right? In 25, the year that we're in, by the time we're in summer, and we have that talent triangle building in summer, right? So you're going to have this talent triangle, right? With the Saturn, Neptune, with Pluto, with Uranus, with all these things, right? And they're all hitting the UK chart everywhere. They're hitting the Uranus here, right? They're hitting the Jupiter here, right? Like all of them, like from everywhere. Literally, like everything is triggering everything. It's just everything is triggering. So UK is going into this massive, very, very important, big time in 25, right? There's going to be labor unrest. I'm going to go through some of these things. There's going to be labor unrest, right? Massive labor unrest. Break strikes, huge strikes. There's going to be secret service, countermeasures. The UK MI6 and secret services are going to be active and doing some massive kind of interventions here and there. There's going to be a faltering authority of the state and especially of the royalty. And this is Jupiter, this is Pluto opposite Jupiter, right? Great kind of powers, transformative powers, decay of society, which will oppose the powers, the regal powers, and also the moral authority of the state. At the same time, there's going to be a complete renewal opportunities for all of this. There will be massive renewal opportunities with new ideas, new worldviews coming, right? New messages coming, right? As well in 25. So this is crazy, right? This is crazy. Social unrest, civil unrest, MI6 intervening, the authorities losing power, engaging, to strengthen their power, new methods that they will find, right? New ways that they will find to establish the power. All of these things are happening at the same time. And as this is happening, what is happening with King Charles? Well, Charles is, and again, we're staying on the big symbolic level here. We're not going to look into Keir Starmer and all those people, right? So Charles has a difficult time. He has a pretty difficult time. He had all this time now already. He's getting a square of transiting Pluto against his moon. His health is not good. Chiron is coming on there too, right? Chiron is starting to move on there. His health is not good. He needs to pay back in so many different ways, right? His karma. Is he going to survive this? Is he going to, what's going to happen with them? How long is he going to be there? And then there's a key character that is starting to come in, right? And that key character is William, the Prince of Wales. William, the Prince of Wales, right? This character in the story, in the cosmic narrative, in God's plan, is going to upend everything the CNN astrologers and the people who have no real understanding of what's coming, what they think about, the monarchy time is over. No, this man, William, he is destined to bring back the power of the monarchy in a way that hasn't been seen for a long, long time, for 100 years at least. You have to go back to the Victorian era, right? You have to go far, far back to be able to see the level of power that he is destined to bring back to the monarchy. And everybody who really knows how to read these things and the changes will know that, right? But when is that going to be? When and how? One first step, an important step for this, an important step that is going to take place for this, is that King William, I'm already calling him king, he's not king yet, Prince of Wales, the Prince of Wales, William, the Prince of Wales, he is going to, in this coming year, in 25, he's going to have a huge surge in popularity with the people, right? With the people. He's going to have a huge surge of popularity with the people. Jupiter going on his moon, sun, right, direct. And this popularity, it's going to come through him taking a stance for the British people and against he's going to be one who was going to say, like, we need to defend the British people. He's not saying that right now, but he's going to start saying that. And he's going to start turning against some people. Right, he's going to start coming out and being part of a renewal, of a national renewal, right? Of a national renewal, which will rub a lot of people the wrong way, right? And does that mean that he will, immediately come to power? No, he has still years. There's several years here of difficulty, right? Where he's the powers that be, and he has to go through massive trials and tribulations. There's several years where Saturn is going through Aries and is going to be opposing all of his planets here, right? This goes on for years, right? This goes on for 28, 29, and then only in 28, it takes years, right? There's going to be several years. The next few years is going to be very difficult, right? I'm not talking about right now, next year, 2 years, right? This is a long-term story that I'm talking about. When I say his reign will be different, this is a long-term story that we're talking about, right? And we will have to monitor this carefully. There are a lot of people involved, that very, very powerful people, the globalists and others. These people are all connected to the highest level with the Freemasons and all of these secret societies. There are some very powerful people that will want to use the coming popularity of William, because they will know about this, for their purposes, right? And they will try to put him into this new scheme for a big thing globally, a global system that they will try to create around him. Now, we can look into this in future videos. We have to look into this in future videos. This is going to be an unfolding story for years to come. So we have to be on this. And I'm going to leave you with one thing. And that thing is a last word to the people of the United Kingdom. You are a great people. You are a people that can master these challenges. Your country may now be in absolute decay. It may be at a place of a low point in in moral standing. But you have a lot of resources to pull from and to draw on. You have the English with the wits and the beautiful English language that we're all using. You have the Scots with their resilience. You have the Welsh, who are often forgotten with their, I don't know, you have the Welsh, and you have a lot of resources to draw on. And you will be able to recover. You will be able to recover, but you must reset your country. You must reset your country. You must get rid of the elements that are sucking the energy out of the place spiritually as well. I spent many years of my life. Probably the city that I spent the longest time in continuously of all cities in the world is London. I'm very deeply connected personally to London. And I hope that you will be able to make Britain great again. Be blessed. All the best.